Hey everybody, Chevy Nobody Else's Auto. We're out on another Kansas farmstead getting ready to dig one out. This old pickup has obviously been in here for a really long time, but we always like to show you these exactly as I found them, where I found them. That's what we're gonna do here real quick. Then we'll get this thing dug out of here. We'll get her back to the yard and we'll take a little bit better look at her. This door just opened for the first time in years, if not decades. This thing is piled with stuff. We're gonna give you a quick walk around, check it out right here, right now, before we get this thing pulled out, start moving these tires, all these jugs and buckets, and getting this thing pulled out of here. But let's take a quick look at it exactly as I found it when I first walked into this shed. As you can tell, this one's deep. Now, like I just mentioned, this door was just opened. They opened it right before I got here, and you can see the dirt and the trash that has built up just in this track of what it took just to get the door open. It's always fun to open the door yourself, but in this case, I'm glad they helped me out and I already had it open. But we'll kind of work our way in here and take a look at this 1951 Ford F-1. This is a project someone started years ago, and this is as far as it got. It ended up getting stuck in this barn, and that's where it's been for obviously a long time. Lots of tires and wheels, old buckets, lawn stuff, boxes, furniture. As what typically happens when one of these old vehicles gets tucked away into storage, they become shelves, storage, everything. So this pickup is pretty much complete. The bed is outside, the other fender's laying on the other side of it, but really don't know exactly for sure what we've got. Now, we can look up here at the front. If we look around the furniture, we can see the grill, and then we see that front hood badge. So at least it's got a 51 hood badge on it. We do know that much. And we'll try to get around to the other side here. And take a little bit of a look at the left side of this pickup. It's got some rust over here in the hood and the fender. Like I said, don't really know for sure what we've got here till we get this thing dug out. It's a bit of a challenge just getting around it right now. There's the other fender under these tires. Take a quick peek inside of it. And I suppose we probably better get to work. We've got a little bit of a challenge ahead of us here to get this thing dug out, get these tires, wheels, buckets, post hole diggers, plastic cups, seed bags, all this stuff dug off and around this old Ford so we can get this thing pulled out of here and get her loaded up. So there she is, exactly as I found it. Little Ford F-1 pickup. Now it's time to get to work, get this thing hauled out of here, get her back to the yard so we can get all the way around it and take a little bit better look at her. But it's always fun checking them out exactly as I found them, where I found them. And that's what we're doing here. We'll get her back to the yard, take a little bit better look at her, see what we've actually got here. Well, we've got the little 51 F1 out of the barn, hauled back here to the yard. Got it all unloaded, so let's go spend a few minutes, take a quick walk around it, and see what it looks like out in the daylight now that we've got all the crap away from around it. Got rained on, had it rinsed off a bit, so let's take a quick walk around, check out this old 51 F1 after its last several years, if not decades, being tucked away inside of that old barn. Now, like we saw, this was a project. Someone had started on this old pickup, and then it was left to sit and never finished. Started doing some of the body work. We can see where these fenders typically rust out right here at that seam. They had already started work on that part of the truck. Had stripped the hood down, and unfortunately, wherever the way the hood had been stored, apparently this back edge was left in a very vulnerable spot because it completely rotted away. Left fender kind of the same way, rusted out right in the exact same area where these things are prone to rust just because of the design of these front fenders. Up front, however, this old truck is still pretty straight. It's got a nice grill, pretty straight front bumper. We can see why they started the restoration on this truck. Looks like it was a pretty decent old pickup to start with, and it is a half-ton short bed. As you noticed, before we drug it out, there was no bed on it. The bed was outside. Have not found the rear fenders yet. Don't know if they are there or not. But the bed was outside the building, so we did get it back, loaded up, hauled back, and got it reunited with the old F1. Still has the tailgate on it with the original Ford stamping on it. Wood's all pretty much gone out of it. And over here, kind of more of the same. No rear fender. Cab looks pretty decent. We don't see a lot of rust in the cab corners. Take a peek inside of this old Ford. Dash and everything really pretty well preserved. You know, this thing's been inside for a really, really long time. Some old hubcaps laying there. The seat's tattered, but there again, it's been inside, so it's been dry, so I'm sure it could be rebuilt. And even still has keys in it. Old, original style Ford keys. With the Co-op keychain, Co-op motor oil. Better put those back in the slot so we don't lose them. Under the hood of this old F1, we see the old flathead V8. Everything under here, mostly intact and original. Still got a few rags laying under there from when they were working on it. Old battery still sitting in the hole. But everything up there still pretty clean, not hacked up or anything, original paint. Motor's a bright blue, so I wonder if somebody had overhauled that engine at one point in its life. This front fender's still loose. Obviously, it was off the truck when we pulled it out of there. Did have some writing on the doors at one point, but can't really make out what that was from either. It said Hoisington, Kansas something. We can kind of make out the Hoisington, but don't know what business that was for. It looks like that's been sanded off long ago. Does have original wheels and even has some old trim rings still on the wheels. So kind of a cool old truck. Would take a lot of work to bring this one back, but it is a half-ton short bed. It does not have an excessive amount of rust in it. As we look around the cab, a little bit down there in the front corners, but really not terrible. But there again, this truck's been inside for years. We look down here along the rockers. And it is a pretty solid looking old truck. Well, there you have her. From dragging her out of the old barn to getting her back to the yard, to getting the bed found at the old farmstead, getting it reunited back with the truck, to having her back here at the yard at Nobody Else's Auto. So who knows what the future holds for this old truck. It is a half-ton short bed. The rust is not that bad. Truck sure still could be saved. If not, there's still a ton of good parts here. Regardless, we've got it here. So whatever its future holds, it's not going to end up in the shredder. And at least part of it will be saved, if not the whole truck. But it's always fun dragging them out of old buildings. We've got a ton more stuff coming from that farmstead, as well as many other places we've been buying cars and trucks at. And we've got a ton of new inventory coming up. So hope you enjoyed the 51 F1, and stay tuned because there's a lot of amazing stuff coming up, including this 79 Dodge four-wheel drive club cab short bed. We've had some killer Ford convertibles come in, so we got some cool Mopar stuff coming. We've got a lot of amazing inventory, some big block Chevy stuff. You don't want to miss any of it. So definitely click that subscribe button so you can keep up with all the new videos that are coming up here over the coming weeks. You don't want to miss any of them. Got any questions about this old F1 or any other 2000 cars and trucks we've got here on the ground at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. That's the only way to get a hold of me. Having a short phone call about your project, year, make, model, body style, the parts you need, or what you're looking for a project, all that information is super critical to me. With this much inventory on the ground, I've got to have those specifics to know if I've got something that may or may not help you out. So a phone call is really the only way to do that. So just give me a quick call. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, see if we've got something here that can help you out with your project. So hope you had fun checking out the F1, watching it come out of the old building, and stay tuned. There's a lot more amazing stuff coming up on the next video. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody.